All right, hey y'all, I'm on my way back from a job, just pulling the trailer, and I'm reminiscing on this sale and how it happened. So I wanted to share it with you and the importance of why we do what we do. So this was a normal estimate, right? They called into the office. Actually, they had a little bit of wind damage, some blow-offs, and so I was training a new fella, and when I train, I'm like regimented. Like I don't miss a step because I want all my sales reps to do exactly what I say, not as I do. So when I'm training them, I teach them the right way, all right, which is how I say. And so I showed up to the customer's house and did my normal steps. All right, hey, Mr. or Mrs. Customer, um, I'm going to take a bunch of pictures around your house really quick, and then I'll come in and I want to go over some stuff with you guys. All right, and then I'll hop back up there. I showed them my expectations for the appointment, and basically we sit down, we go over some stuff. Then I'll go out there, I'll do a full roof inspection for you, and then we'll go over some different options, product options, and then different payment options for you. Okay, cool, awesome, thanks, Colin. I do my thing, go back inside, and I start the client discovery. And through the client discovery, this is like my favorite part of the entire process. And this actually made the whole sale. So if you've stayed with us for the minute and a half we've been live so far, I want you to stick with us because this is my favorite part, and let me tell you why. So I go through, and our client discovery is everything from like what they enjoy doing to what their expectations are for the day to their budget and all that fun stuff. So as I'm going through all these questions, and if you're in Gutter Launch, you have access to the same client discovery that I have. If you want access to it, holler, all right? Or join Gutter Launch. But anyways, so I'm going through it, and I learned that this customer is looking to sell the house. And then at that point, it was like 2 to 3 years. We're doing the project today, and they're trying to get it on the market like next week, all right? So this whole roofing project has helped fast forward it, and they're moving out of state. And anyways, so I learned that they want to sell it. I learned that the only reason they want to do the roof is because they want the sale to go smooth. They don't want an inspector to come in and be like, oh, you need a new roof. And so now they got to get 3 estimates, and they got to take the average, and it's got to come off of the sale price and all that crap. They're like, we just want it to be smooth. Okay, awesome, sweet. I learn about why they're moving, and that's actually like their hobby. So it's all about like whiskey and bourbons and whatnot. So he's going to work for this I don't remember if it's a whiskey or bourbon company, but anyways, he's going to work for them, and he's like their head of marketing. So we got to spitball and talk marketing ideas and all that fun stuff. And that was when the temperature changed in the room. Up until that point, the dude wouldn't look me in the eye. And I don't know if it was like he was upset with me or didn't like me or whatnot, or if it was like a uncomfortableness, but he wouldn't look me in the eye. His wife and I were hitting it off, everything was fine, but I couldn't get him on board. And as soon as we connected on that, it was like we became best friends. And so we just started spitballing marketing. Now we like text each other stuff and whatever. But I went through that whole process, and then I get up on the roof and I discover I couldn't see it from the ground because this house is huge, right? This looks like it's probably like a 7,000 square foot house, 2 stories up, like huge. I couldn't see half of the roof from the ground anyways, but upon getting up there and doing the inspection, I discover that all the west-facing slopes had already been replaced at one time. And I was like, ooh, like this is a chance to solve a problem for them and find a different solution than the other roofers that have been out here. And they had disclosed to me they had one other guy out and they're waiting on another one to show up. And I was like, all right, cool, not a problem at all. Like I compete against other people every day, right? It's not a big deal. So here's a chance for me to be a differentiator. So I do my thing, I do my inspection, show them all the stuff, right? And I get back down, or I take all the pictures, get back down, and I get inside, and I start going through all the photos, and I just show them all the damage around their house. I show them all the damage on their roof, and then I show them the newer section of the roof. And I'm leading them. I'm like, so this part of the roof actually looks really good. And they're like, oh, wow. It's like, yeah, did you guys replace it? I know you've been here for 6 years. And no. You think it's like that new? It can't be more than 10. And they're like, oh my goodness. And I was like, are you thinking what I'm thinking? They're like, are you thinking that we just leave that and we want to do the rest? I was like, yeah. And they're like, deal. I love that. That's an awesome solution. Like, It's like, yeah, no inspector is going to notice that this roof is older than the rest. And they're like, okay, deal, let's go. So anyways, I solved a huge problem for them. And I wouldn't have been able to solve that problem if I didn't ask all the right questions on the front end. I wouldn't have been able to connect with the homeowner if I wasn't asking the right questions. And I wouldn't have gained the trust that I needed to get the deal. So then let's fast forward. We go through all the products, we go through the pricing options, or we get to the pricing options. I say, hey, I'm training a new guy. I'm going to let him build out the estimates in our system. So it's probably going to take like 20 minutes. Normally I get this done in 10. So if you guys got some stuff you want to do around the house, like go for it. I'll just holler when we're ready. Okay, cool. During that time, they told this to me after this whole interaction. But during that time, they called the roofer that had been there and said, hey, don't worry about putting a quote together. We got our guy. And they called the other one that was coming and said, hey, yeah, don't worry about coming by. We found our guy. We're all handled. So they still didn't have a price or anything from me. They just knew that I was the guy. I had solved the problem the right way. I gave them a solution that nobody else had given. So, and that they really, really liked. So anyways, we go through all the pricing. They're like, okay, yep, this one, let's do it. And I was like, okay, let's rock and roll. And the rest was history. Now, like I said, I'm buddies with them. Like I showed up to shoot some videos today, and they were like, hey, how's it going? You want to come in and have a drink? Like, I don't drink, but it is what it is. People love to get me high-end liquors. Like, I've got a few $100 bottles of scotch and bourbon and stuff like that that I literally have never opened. So I think I'm going to gift it to them because they've just been amazing clients, and that's right up their alley. So they can use it more than I can. But moral of this whole story is I showed up and I followed my own sales process. And I would not have gotten this deal if I didn't do the client discovery properly. If I was just showing up like, yeah, let me check out your roof, right? And I quote the whole thing and like, here it is. Now I'm just quoting against other people. It's the same solution that everybody else is giving. I'm not differentiating myself at all. But instead, I inspected what others wouldn't so I could ask for what others can't. And you might be thinking, well, yeah, you got a smaller job out of the deal. You know, it's still a $30,000 roof that would be done in a day in like 4 hours, right? So, you know, like, I'm going to take that all day, every single day. Like, I didn't shoot myself in the foot. Instead, I gained a raving fan. Like, they are commenting on all of our Facebook ads, like, love this guy, he's amazing. You know, I had Colin out for an estimate. Holy smokes, he was the only honest roofer we had. Like, he found something that nobody else even pointed out. They're just constantly commenting on my stuff, and like, that's really cool. We created a raving fan. Like, that's what our business should revolve around, creating raving fans. And you get to do that by having proper systems that you yourself as the boss follow. Like, if you, my sales reps and my team will tell you, like, I will almost always, if I don't follow my process, come back and apologize to everybody. Hey, I'm sorry, I shit the bed. Like, they're like, what? Well, yep, I skipped this part of the process, and we probably won't get the deal because of it. I surely didn't close it on the spot, so there's a really high chance we don't get the deal because of that. I'm sorry, everybody. And they're like, dude, you're the owner, you can do what you want. No, I can't. Like, I hold you guys to this standard. I need to hold myself to that standard too. And just because I'm the boss doesn't mean I can get away with crap. So if you're an owner listening to this, heed that same advice, all right? Hold yourself to the same standard you hold your team to, maybe even higher. Like, yeah, that's poor advice. Like, hold yourself to a higher standard than what you hold your team to, all right? Because it will radically shift your business. The accountability level, the amount of care that your employees have will increase. It will radically change your entire business. So when it comes to this sale, if I would not have followed my process, if I would have like just skipped a step, it probably would have resulted in a no deal. Instead, it was a $30,000 swing for the business that pays my project manager, that pays my gutter team, that pays my roofing labor, that pays everybody, pays out bonuses, all that fun stuff. So if it weren't for that, for following the process, I would have crapped the bed. I never would have been able to connect with these guys. I wouldn't have raving fans. I wouldn't have a 5-star review incoming. just so much that would have fallen through the cracks if I wouldn't have adhered to the process, if I wouldn't have done a really good client discovery, if I wouldn't have been so focused on finding a solution for them rather than just selling them a huge roof. All right, so that's my soapbox for you guys today. Just I was reminiscing on it. I was pissed about one I did yesterday where I didn't follow my sales process that I didn't get. That was a $40,000 project. If I would have followed the process, probably would have gotten it. But again, I crapped the bed. So stick to your guns, follow your process, and refine your process. Make it better every single time. All right, test everything, and watch your business radically grow. So get out there and win bigly so that you can give bigly. And if you want to be a part of a community that talks about stuff like this every single day, Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, we have our gutter launch community that we'd love for you to join. We'll see you all on the inside.